Welcome in then to the latest edition of Extra Time. We have just done a marathon post FA Cup final segment, I suppose. And lots of questions about that final. Craig, has Pep's game plan become outdated?
What's the game plan?
Well, the game plan is to pass people to boredom until they fall asleep.
I think it's you watch teams like Barcelona play passing game, but they play it a lot quicker.
Yes.
Which is what City used to do. I don't think his game plan necessarily is outdated, but I think the players within that plan are outdated. Without being rude to them, they're just coming towards the end of their careers. So your Gundogan's not making those busting runs anymore. Kevin De Bruyne's not as influential. Rodri's out. You know, Jack Grealish is out of form. I mean, the list is just endless. And that's part of the problem. So it's all about recruitment in the summer, really.
Stevie, in hindsight, would it have been the right move for Pep to walk away as Jurgen Klopp did?
Well, we were talking on the show about does he have the desire to go again? And if he signed a new contract and he was unsure at that time, I think he signed the contract just to take some of the noise away.
Right.
So,
But
if that's the case, if the case is that he doesn't really have the desire, but he just couldn't help himself, then hindsight, absolutely, I'll bet he's thinking, why didn't I just go?
But walk away when? At the end of last year?
At the end of last year, I
But at the end of
suppose,
last year, they were champions.
Yes, go out on a high.
You know, Klopp walked away because he said he didn't have the energy for it anymore, and he was trying to chase City down. I wonder if he would have walked away had he had a crystal ball and known what was going to happen to City, thinking he could have taken Liverpool potentially to another second title. Now, that's not to say they would have done, because what Slot did in the first 6 months of the season was quite incredible. I mean, Liverpool's form. So there's no guarantees. But I bet you bottom dollar, Klopp's sitting there somewhere going, why couldn't we, for 2 or 3 years at least, when we were on our game, on our A game, why couldn't we had a City side like this?
Sure.
Because he had them at their best.
Yes, absolutely.
And that was very difficult to overcome, which they did once.
Who had the worst season, Kieran? Real Madrid or Manchester City?
Well, it's not over yet.
Which means it's not over.
Well, if City don't make the Champions League,
Oh, it's not part of the conversation, surely.
well, of course.
City were favourites to win the Premier League. They were favourites to win the Champions League.
No,
They've fallen short so far.
No, I think
Yes.
if they make the Champions League,
You've gone mad.
considering where. Where they've been.
Real
at.
Madrid have made the Champions League, obviously.
Yes.
So
But
what's the
if
difference?
City make the Champions League, I'll probably still say City.
Oh, fair play. We're all going down that road.
Kind of knew that was coming.
Real Madrid have been.
Yeah, well, I think Madrid beat City as well at some stage. Does Palace winning the FA Cup bring back more importance to the FA Cup competition, Stevie? Well, surely,
No.
no. But surely, like you were saying, like those mid-table teams now, there can be no excuse for not fielding your proper teams. Because look at the joy that Crystal Palace fans have had today.
But what you're talking about is what we've been talking about for how many years?
But now Crystal Palace are the poster child of that.
Do you think, outside of Crystal Palace, that's what people will be thinking about when the season kicks off next year?
I wouldn't see why not. If I'm a Fulham supporter and my team are in the quarter-finals, I would say.
So when the third round comes around next year,
Not the third round. I'm just
well,
saying.
that's when the Fulhams of this world start the FA Cup, the third round.
Yes.
Do you think before the third round starts, before the game, they're going to go, well, Palace won it last year, so maybe we.
Why not?
Well, because they won. They won.
Oh,
You know, I don't know what the payout is in the Premier League per position, but it's a few million. I don't know if it's 10 million or 20 million if you finish 14th, 15th, it goes up, obviously. And you kind of get the feeling there's owners and chief executives prodding away at the manager going, listen, I wouldn't mind finishing, 13th rather than 15th, an extra 35 million or whatever it is. That's kind of, rather than saying, what the manager going, I don't care, I just want to, we want to be at the cup final, I'm going to play my strongest team. I kind of feel behind the scenes half the time, that's what it is. Maybe it's not. Maybe just managers make those changes. But
do you know the
I think the money's been a big
worst
part.
thing would be being one of the players at a team just below your Liverpools and your Cities and all these teams.
Okay.
And the FA Cup is probably your only chance for a bit of glory in your whole career. And then you turn up and you see the team sheet and the half of the boys are missing. That must be soul destroying.
Kieran, is Eze more deserving of an England call-up than Foden?
Well, they're both in the fold, aren't they?
No, they shouldn't be.
Come on, that's an easy answer.
Phil Foden's done nothing this season.
Have you watched Foden this year? I mean,
we're quick to forget. It's incredible.
No, but he's been off. He's been out of form.
It's unbelievable.
He has been out of form.
I can't drive this narrative.
Wait, hold on. Are you playing a game now?
Yeah.
Are you picking Eze or are you picking
I'm going to
Foden?
pick Eze.
Right.
I'm going to pick Eze.
Right.
I mean, of course, he's just pretty much single-handedly taken his team to an FA Cup final and to an FA Cup glory, and Foden has been missing this season. But
yes,
we can't hide from the fact that Foden is a treble winner.
Yeah, but he's not. He's out of form. The question is, who's more deserving of an England call-up?
Currently, Eze is more deserving.
Final question: why are City not allowed to have a season like the season they just had? They have. Right. Let me rephrase. Why are City not allowed to have a season like the season they just had? They had one of the most dominant spells in the history of the game, yet everyone's acting like they're meant to dominate forever.
No. I agree.
No.
Sorry again?
I agree.
What do you mean you agree?
I agree.
Nobody sat here. What? Nobody sat here ever, in my knowledge, this season on our show and gone, oh, this is a disgrace. Pep Guardiola should be sacked. He's rubbish. I think what we've done is evaluate. And we've admired how they have been the dominant force in English football, and they've won the Champions League. Probably should have won it more. So we've admired all the greatness they've had, but I think we're absolutely right to question why the fall off has been as bad.
Look, they're allowed a blip, but this hasn't been a blip.
Yeah.
If they make the Champions League,
oh my goodness!
If they make the Champions League, you can put this down. I think this will get brushed under the carpet as a blip. They've conceded 4 goals since the beginning of April. They had a horrendous blip.
Kieran, they couldn't beat Southampton. They couldn't beat Southampton. They're battling.
They've conceded 4 goals. Now,
they're currently, as we speak, they're in 6th place. As we speak.
It doesn't matter how many goals they've conceded.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. I think if they make the Champions League, I don't think it's as bad of a season as everyone's saying.
You're on the wind-up. You are absolutely on the wind-up.
They got battered by an absolutely terrible Real Madrid side. They got knocked out the Carabao Cup. I can't even remember.
Spurs, all smiles.
Spurs, who, by the way, are all over the shop. They've somehow managed to get to the cup final. A second year in a row, they've played poorly and they've lost. They went on a period where I think they lost 8 straight games or whatever, and as we speak now, they're in 6th place. This is a side that was favourites, probably to, I don't know what the bookies say, favourites to win the Champions League and the Premier League at the start of the season. Yeah. That constitutes...
They lost 9 games in 12.
I can probably sit here and tell you that we will never see another team like Manchester City.
I don't know what does that mean?
In our lifetime.
What does that mean?
Of how dominant they are, like it says
in the
here.
Premier League.
4 Premier Leagues in a row, a treble.
Right.
All in the same spell, within the span of
Which is
5
exactly
years.
why you can't forgive them for this season, because of the standards which they've set over previous campaigns.
That happens. It's a hangover. I'm not surprised that they're having a season.
That's not
like
a hangover. That's
to operate at that level.
Yeah.
To operate at that
Real
level.
Madrid and Barcelona have hangovers, but they don't finish 6th in the table.
Yeah, but the standard is for me. The standard is different.
But it should be
Liga
different,
to the Premier
surely, as
League.
Manchester. Don't start.
It is. For me, For me, you can't compare the Premier League to La Liga. To do what they've done in the Premier League and in Europe,
Premier League.
They were due a season like this. That's all I'm saying.
Well, then Arsenal should be winning it every year, shouldn't they? That is it. That brings us to the end. We say goodbye to Kieran for the year. He'll be back for the 3rd round of the FA Cup.
He'll be back for the renaissance of Phil Foden. I believe.
It's tomorrow. Newcastle are playing Arsenal.
Top 5. Woo.